Hey guys, Dominic here, and today I'm just going to go through a mobility or more or less a flexibility assessment that we do with all of our clients. So first of all, we're going to do a couch stretch. So I kneel down on the ground, I put one knee towards the wall and going at a slight angle so you can see what's going on here. You don't want to be overextending like this in this position. Keep the abs braced, try and lean back into the wall as much as you can. The degree to which you have to take your knee further away, I'm going further away here because that's for people who are not as flexible. That shows a lack of flexibility within the hip flexors and quads. If you want to fix that, then we need to foam roll. So if your knee is quite flush to the wall in that previous position and you can get to upright, then that's a pretty good level to be at. If you have to go further away from the wall and it's extremely painful to be there, then that's not such a good level. When you're doing the foam rolling, as I was showing there, if you go onto your forearms, it's better than onto your hands because you generally will overarch lower back, work down the middle, work down the sides, find those various angles that will help. So the more you do that will help to get into a better couch stretch. So when you retest that position, that will improve. The second test then is a simple pigeon stretch. So we get the right knee to right hand. I then take the shin across my body. So we're trying to get that shin straight across the body and get that 90-degree angle more or less at the knee. I then drop down onto it. That's what good looks like. So if you really struggle in that position, what you'll notice is that you can't get the leg as high and that getting into that position is extremely tough and you can really feel it in your glutes. And again, if you lack flexibility in this kind of hip area, then you probably have a higher likelihood that you're going to have some back problems. So and knee problems. In order to work on that, I'm going to take this trigger point therapy ball and I'm going to work it in on the glutes. This could be a hard rubber ball as well, but these are perfect size for me. And then work it in on both sides. You want to get a little bit deeper into it, put your foot up on top of your knee and do the same thing. If you find spots are particularly tight, stop on them and then really go as heavy as you can on them. Once you then go back to pigeon stretch, you should find that we can get that shin a little bit further across the body and get a little bit deeper into that position. Remember, we're looking for that shin to be as straight across the body as we possibly can get it, and dropping the hip down towards that front ankle. Then our third test. So we've got our dog down position, which is going to show us what's going on. The previous two are more for the hips. This is going to be working on the ankles. Again, the hips need to be mobile, the ankles need to be mobile, whereas the low back and knees need to be more of a stable joint. So our heels should be flush to the floor, as you can see here, and our head is through the arms. If you've got very, very tight calves, you'll notice the heel will not go to the floor. It'll probably end up looking like that. What we really need to do is really press that down. The degree to which you can get it onto the floor again shows your mobility in the calf area or ankle area. So if it's not going down very much and you need to work in your calves, we take a wooden dowel. This is just a shovel handle you pick up in any hardware shop and just mash it with the stick going up and down. I could take my foam roll, sit on it and then mash my butt over and back, moving it in different sections, but the stick will give us a little bit more play. You'll be able to get it into higher or lower areas as the foam roll is quite thick. Some people will foam roll with the foam roll out in front, such as this. I do find this can be a little bit limiting because people's arms tend to tire quite quickly doing that. That's why I do find using the stick or the foam roll a little bit better. So work in on those areas, retest it with the dog down position, and then see how much further you can get the heels down on the floor. And then also, a really good idea while you have the stick there is to work on your feet. So you simply put your foot up on a hard rubber ball or on a wooden dowel or wooden shovel handle like this and massage out, remembering to turn your feet at various different angles to work in on whatever angle works best for you to massage out your feet. You will notice a big difference when you do this, and when you do go back to your dog down position, it will make a big difference to your overall mobility. The third and final area of your mobility we want to look at is just taking like a band and looking at your shoulders. We're going to do what's called a shoulder dislocate. I'm kneeling down just so I keep it in frame here and I don't have to stand up. You obviously can do this standing. You should be able to just pass it over and back without anything funky going on the elbows. The elbows should not bend. As that improves, you take your wooden dowel and again you should be able to roll that over and back without anything funky going on. If you lack the range of motion to be able to do this in the shoulders, meaning that the chest is very, very tight and the lats are very tight, then you take your ball again and you work it in on the chest. across the chest and into the front of the shoulder or into your front delts. That should help it. I would then also combine that with some work with the foam roll and work that in on the upper back. So I'm taking my foam roll, stick it in my upper back, mainly emphasizing, like with the legs, the middle is probably okay, but it's really the sides are going to give you a lot more bang for your buck, and work in on the sides like that. You can also then get a little bit more directed on your shoulder work or mobility work for the shoulder area by working it in with the ball. We do find that the shoulders can be very, very tight for an awful lot of people, so that shoulder dislocate that I just did there with the band or the wooden dowel can be quite difficult. Again, if you go back and retest that, we should see some improvements. There are 4 major tests that you should be able to pass. The degree to which you can pass them or you fail on them. Sorry, by the way, that's just a windmill with a wooden dowel. That's a really good exercise for your shoulders as well. It does determine your level of flexibility. The more flexible you are, the less risk of injury you should have. All the best.